गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Let's hope that gradually devotees will join. We will begin the session with the recap of what we discussed last week. So we discussed about the first ray, the first kirana, or the first ray is about pramana. So which are the different types of pramanas? What is this pramana shastra? That is the first part that was discussed. I will first say the Mangalacharan. व्याप्तिरस्य निज निजेन मनसा पक्षे सपक्षे स्थिति व्यावृत्तिश्च विपक्षतोत्य विषये शक्तिर्न वै बाधते नैवास्ति प्रतिपक्षयुक्तिर्तुलं शुद्धं प्रमाणं समे भूयात् तत्त्वविनयेन भगवान् आनंदतीर्थ मुनि श्रीमन आनंद तीर्थार्य सन्मनस्सरसि भूय अनुव्याख्यान नलिने चंचरी गति में मनः सनातनं रूपम इहोपदर्शयन् आनंद सिंधु परितप प्रवर्धयन् अंतस्तमः स्तोमहरस्स राजतां चैतन्य रूपो विदुरद्भुतोदयः. So we were discussing about Pramana Shastra. The first ray were discussed about the Pramana Shastra. What were the different Pramanas by different schools. So ultimately it was accepted that which are the final Pramanas that are accepted. Hare Krishna.
Pratyaksha, Anumana and Shabda.
Yeah, Pratyaksha, Anumana and Shabda. These are the only three Pramanas that are finally accepted. Everything else is a combination of these Pramanas. Now, in Shabda Pramana, there are again two types. Which are they?
Aptavakya and Anaptavakya.
No, Aptavakya is Shabda. Generally, the reliable words are only Shabda. So the two are Paurushya and Apaurushya. Paurushya Pramanas and Apaurushya Pramanas. These are the two types.
Through Apta and Anapta, there are other types of Shabda.
No, you see, Aptavakya alone is Shabda Pramana. Anaptavakya can never, if somebody is not reliable source, then we don't consider his words as Pramana. Pramana means only the reliable sources. That is why Aptavakya Shabda. That is the meaning. Vedas are accepted as Shabda because they don't have any Purusha doshas. There is no dosha that somebody with four doshas has contaminated something in that. Okay. So which are the four Purusha doshas? Anybody remembers which are the four doshas of the Purusha?
Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa Karna Patam.
Pujasvi Krishna Prabhu, can you be a little bit loud?
Brahma Pramada Vipralipsa Karna Patam.
Correct. Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa and Karna Patam. So these are the four things. Brahma is to be illusioned. Pramada means committing mistakes. Vipralipsa means cheating propensity. And Karnapata, imperfect senses. So these four defects are there in Purushas. So that is why Vedas, it becomes Pramana because it is Apaurushya. It doesn't have these Purusha doshas. So it becomes a perfect Pramana. You cannot question that. Now, suddenly it could not be accepted as a Pramana all of a sudden. That is why we explained Akartrakatva Prasiddhatvam. So there is no Karta for the Vedas. Nobody has written it. And why we should believe that nobody has written it? Because it is well accepted by great sages that nobody has written it. If somebody has to challenge this proposal, then they have to find out, they have to research and find out who the author is. So it is the responsibility on the questioner, it's the responsibility on the querist. So does this not happen with everyday dealings? You see, you go to a university, and when you go to a university, then there suddenly they tell this is the syllabus and these are the textbooks, and then you have to start reading. What if we question, saying that uh, is this valid? I was discussing with a friend of mine. He is a scientist, so he tells that there is a scientific method. Scientific method means first you take a case and then you diagnose it. You take a detailed procedure of research and arrive at a conclusion. Once you arrive at a wrong conclusion, then you do a research once again, and then finally you should continue that iteration till you arrive at the right decision. And in this process, if you never arrive at the right decision, it is discarded as not science. So everything has to undergo this scientific process, then only it can be accepted as proof. That is what he was arguing. Now my question is, once you enter the university, they will tell that, okay, you have to follow the scientific, I mean, you have to take our textbooks and start studying them. The teacher will teach based on the textbooks. Do we have a evaluation session for the teacher and for the textbooks? Initially, a new student of science, he doesn't go for evaluation of the textbooks or evaluation of the teacher. It is assumed, it is understood that, okay, this is a good university and the teacher knows at least better than me. So it is common sense that I should at least accept that the teacher, what he teaches is acceptable. If I want to challenge that paradigm, what I should do is I should first study all those books which are recommended as reference books. Once I study all those books, I should find the faults in those books. Then I should argue with the scientific community about the faults. Once I argue with the scientific community, if the scientific community is able to convince me that I am wrong, then I should accept their proposal. Otherwise, if I am able to convince them, then I can say that all these textbooks are waste. They are of useless. So this is the detailed procedure that is followed. Now, the same thing we are demanding with the Vedic system. Vedic system has been accepted by the great sages like Vyasa, then Narada, and Vasishtha, Asita, Devala. Such great personalities have already accepted the Vedic system as authentic. If we are to challenge it, if we are to say that this is superstition or this is not wrong, this is wrong belief or something like that, then they should prove it. They should get into the Vedas, they should study it, find out what fault in it, what fault is there in it, and then argue with us on that, convince us that these are faults. Like the we discussed a few faults which Buddhists had raised. Buddhists had said that there is Anudatattva, Vyaghata, and Punarokti dosha. There are some faults in that, is what Buddhists already said. So like that, these things has to be discussed and then it is to be proved. Then you can make a statement that Vedas are a blind faith or Vedas are written by some individual who was faulty or have mistakes and all these things. So till that time, how can you suddenly enter a university and question the professor that all your books are scrapped and you should accept our scientific method? So this is the concept of akartrakatva prasiddhatvam. So everyone is clear with this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So you understand the how illogical the modern scientific world is when they reject the Vedas. So till now, for the pramanas, whatever we have discussed, are there any doubts before we enter into the prameya itself? Any doubts in the pramana section you can ask. Are there any doubts in the pramana section or it's all clear?
Yes, all clear, Prabhu.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Anyone else? Dharmeshwar, Dharmendra Prabhu, Guru Bhakta Prabhu, Mohan Radhapati Prabhu. I don't know who Zoom user is. Can I know your name, Prabhuji? So, are you all clear with what is discussed till now? Okay, I assume that it's all clear and we will move forward. Okay, so now we are going to dive into Ishvara. So basically, there are five prameyas discussed here. The five prameyas are Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So in a way, this is setting a background for the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada mentions in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita that the five topics that are discussed there are Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So what they are, what is their lakshanas? We saw the topic of lakshana also. So what is the lakshana for the five prameyas? And the Shruti Vakyas to support them, all those things we will be able to discuss now. So one thing is that by understanding this Vedānta Syamantaka book, we will be more clear with the understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. So that will help us understand the Bhagavad Gita better, and we will be able to study it more nicely. So that is the expectation here. So Ishvara. Who is Ishvara? Because in India, the word Ishvara is very common. Ishwar, everyone says Ishwar. But actually, nobody is clear about who this Ishvara is. Here, some lakshana of the Ishvara is given. Vibhu Vijnana Ananda Sarvajnadi Gunavan Purushottamaha Ishvaraha. Please repeat after me. Vibhu
Vibhu,
Vijnana
Vijnana,
Ananda
Ananda,
Sarvajnadi
Sarvajyadi,
Gunavan
Gunavan,
Purushottamaha
Purushottamaha,
Ishvaraha.
Ishvara.
Yes, so each of these words has a great meaning. First is there is one thing we should understand, there is no Ativyapti, Avyapti or Asambhava in this. Means we are not taking anybody more than Ishvara, we are not taking anybody less than Ishvara, and we are not taking some wrong person as Ishvara. So that is why this definition fits properly. It is Vibhu. Vibhu means all pervading. He pervades everywhere. Vijnana Ananda Sarvajnadi Gunavan. He has the gunas of Vijnana, Ananda, Sarvajna, Adi, etc. So unlimited qualities. There are unlimited qualities. Some of them are Vijnana, Ananda, Sarvajna. Some of these qualities. Because Vijnanam, Anandam, Brahma, Satyam, Jnanam, Ananta, Brahma. There are so many Shruti Pramanas. There are so many Shruti Vakyas which actually tell about what Parabrahma is. So that he has included here in this. Purushottamaha. This is to emphasize that he is a person. He is not impersonal. He is a person. So, with all these gunas, there is a personality. So, that lakshana is there for the lakshya of Ishvara. Yes, Ojasvi Krishna Prabhu, you can ask me your question.
Yes, Prabhu. My question is, so I just checked the book right now also. He mentions this in the first line itself, this definition of Ishvara.
Yes, Prabhu.
So when any author, or in this case, Radha Damodar Goswami, when he is giving the definition, is he giving the definition from that is his understanding, and then he proves his understanding by quoting verses from the scriptures, because that he has already said is a pramana. So is he saying that another way of looking at it is that you can have faith in me because what I am saying is exactly what scriptures are also is something is basically what I've understood from scriptures. Is there a correct is this a correct understanding?
In this case, exactly what has happened, I cannot tell you for certain. But generally, different schools give different lakshanas for the lakshyas. And then they argue among themselves. Finally, when the Ativyapti, Avyapti, and Asambhava dosha are eliminated, that is when one final lakshana is arrived at. So we saw Lakshana for Go, we saw Lakshana for Pramana, all these things. So different schools had their own definitions. Finally, the Vedanta school gave the most perfect definition. So similarly, here it quite appears that it's author's definition, no doubt about that. And But still, I will verify once again whether the author has directly taken it from Shruti Vakya or he has collected a few Shruti Vakyas and based on that given the definition. Because how these things fit in Shruti Vakyas, we will be seeing very soon.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. And when a person speaks Shruti Vakyas or he gives the same meaning of Shruti, Vedas have a particular meaning. If a person gives the same meaning, that is also accepted as Pramana. That is also accepted as Sadagama. So Sadagamas are Rugade Bharatam Chaiva, Pancharatram Tathakilam, Mula Ramayanam Chaiva, Ete Sadagamaha, Duragamastu Tananye, Yairnadneya Janardana. Duragamas are those from which you will not get to know about Janardana. Everything else is Sadagama, Rigveda, Mahabharata, all the four Vedas, Mahabharata, Pancharatras, all the Pancharatras, then Mula Ramayana, all these things come under Sadagamas, and any Shastras which are in line with the same thing, they are also accepted as Sadagamas. They are also accepted as genuine Shastras only. So, otherwise, if we had just kept on Shruti, then even our words that accept Shruti will also be redundant. That cannot also be accepted. So it will have a circular loop, this, what is that, failure in it. Okay.
Yeah, what is that verse that you quoted? I
Sorry,
forgot.
Prabhu.
You quoted one verse, Sadagama something. Mula Ramayana.
So
What is it?
this verse is coming in the initial part of Vishnu Tattva Vinaya of Madhvacharya. Rugade Bharatam Chaiva Pancharatram Tathakilam Mula Ramayanam Chaiva Ete Sadagamaha Duragamastu Tadanye Yairna De Neya Janardana.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yes. Now, different Shastra Pramanas are discussed here to establish the thing. Primarily, centrally, it is all Shruti, it's Vedas. Because Veda is declared as a Pramana which can't be contested or it cannot be rejected. Vedas can be understood differently. If we want, we can give a definition to make it understand differently. But we don't have the right to reject the Pramana. So, there is a very good book called Katha Lakshana by Madhvacharya. And in this book, he explains about the art of debate, how to perform debates. He says that there are three types of debates. Vada, Jalpa, Vitandeti, Trividam, Vidusham Katham. So there is one Vada, there is Jalpa and Vitanda. Vada means it happens between Guru and a disciple, where there is a flow of knowledge. Submissively, the disciple is hearing and the spiritual master is telling the message of Parampara. So that is Vada. Then Jalpa means there is some element of competition. Definitely the hearer has the enthusiasm to learn, but along with that, he also has the enthusiasm to prove that he is right. And when it is Vitanda, then there is no knowledge flow interest. Primarily, it is to prove that I am right and the other person is wrong. So there are the three types of debates, and all three are necessary at different circumstances. So similarly, here when you say this Vidusha Katha or the Vada, in that the first thing that the person quotes is Shastra. So when we meet a person, you want to have first you put your stand that my stand is so and so on this point. For example, sun rises in the morning. This is my contention. To prove this contention, immediately I have to give some pramana. So in a katha, the first pramana that you give is Shruti Vakya or Smriti Vakya, Shastra Vakya first. When you give a Shastra Vakya to prove your thing, the opposition party, he should also give a Shastra Vakya only to disprove it. If he can't give another Shastra Vakya, then he has to get into interpreting this Shastra Vakya to prove or disprove it. So, you are not just allowed to blindly misguide people saying that I am so and so, I am PhD, I am professor, I am your brother, I am your sister, kindly listen to me, not type of thing. When there is a debate on Shastras, that time it will be Shastra. The opposition, they have to speak Shastras. That is the thing. So Katha Lakshana is itself a very nice book which can be discussed sometime later, the art of debate. So here, Paurusha Vakyas which are in line with the Apurusha, they are accepted. Certain Shastras are tamasic. They are specifically meant for tamasic people. So sometimes they could give informations which are misleading, misguiding also. So we should be a little careful to how much we can accept those. Whereas the Sattvic Shastras, which are in line with the Vedas, they will definitely be accepted. Now, the goal of these Shastras is to eliminate Samshaya and Viparyaya. Samshaya means doubt, and Viparyaya means Viparita, wrong knowledge. Sometimes when we see Shukti Rajata, when we see a seashell and we feel that it is silver, so we are getting wrong knowledge. So to eliminate this wrong knowledge, there is Pramana. So similarly, to eliminate doubts, Samshaya also, there is Pramana. Okay. So this Ishvara is Swatantra Tattva. Everyone else is Aswatantra. Swatantram, Aswatantram, Dvividham Tattvam Ishyate. So there is two tattvas, two realities. One is Swatantra, independent reality. Other one is dependent reality, Aswatantra. Independent reality, there is only one candidate, the Supreme Lord. Everything else comes under dependent realities. So that is the special quality of the Supreme. So there is you are able to see the screen. We will now see in some Shruti Vakyas to support the stands. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma, that is mentioned in Brahad Aranyaka Upanishad, that the Supreme is consciousness and bliss. So Vijnanam and Anandam is Brahma. Then Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Taittiriya Upanishad. This is very famous. Taittiriya Upanishad, the 2.1. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. The Supreme is Satyam, truth, Jnanam, knowledge, and Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Anantam means eternity. So that is the nature of the Parabrahma is mentioned here. Then further in Mundakopanishad, Ya Sarvajnaha Sarvavit. The Supreme, the Parabrahma is that which is Sarvajnaha, knows everything, and Sarvavit. Okay, he is omniscient. So that is another. Next one is Satyakama, Satya Sarikalpaha. Chandogya Upanishad says that Supreme Souls fulfills all desires and brings all thoughts into reality. So he doesn't just say that, he brings things into reality. So these are the different descriptions. There are some more also, but we will see these individually. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Supreme Lord is conscious. Where is this topic discussed in Bhagavad Gita? Anybody remembers? Consciousness and bliss. Supreme Lord is conscious. Almost everywhere it is discussed, but there is one specific chapter that speaks about
Chapter
the
13?
consciousness. Huh?
Chapter 13.
Yes. Kshetrajna Jnana. That's what. So, Kshetrajnaschapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. We are the Kshetrajna of our bodies. Just like there is a field, Karshana, Krishi, Kshetra. They are all from the same. Kshetra is the field, and Karshana means blowing the field, and the person who does the Karshana is called Krishakaha, and the activity is called Krishi. So similarly, the field, our body is the field where this activity is happening, and the knower of the body, the Kshetrajna, is the soul. Similarly, Kshetrajnaschapi Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. There is another Kshetrajna who knows all the Kshetras, all the places, and that another Kshetrajna is the super soul. Okay, so that way the Supreme is conscious, and he is consciousness and bliss personified. So the one more quality of his is eternity. Eternity, knowledge, consciousness, and bliss. So this Parabrahma is something beyond this world. It is not a part of this world. Everything we are conscious of till today is a part of this world, whereas the Parabrahma is something beyond this world. So objects of this world cannot be sufficient instruments to locate the Parabrahma. For example, suppose I have a big telescope, and if I keep seeing in that telescope for a long time, it's not possible to locate Parabrahma, because Parabrahma is made of the materials which are not a product of this world. And these materials have come into existence much after Parabrahma. Parabrahma was always existing, eternal, whereas these have newly come into existence. If you have a telescope, maybe it's made of plastic, maybe it's made of metal, maybe it's made of glass, and all these things have come into existence much, much later after the material world was created. So, with these things, you cannot know Parabrahma. So, how to know Parabrahma? It cannot be known by Pratyaksha, it cannot be known by Anumana, it cannot be known by Aptavakya, because all Aptas did not exist when Parabrahma existed. So Shruti is the only way by which you can know Parabrahma. Without Shruti, without Veda Shastra, it's impossible to know what is the absolute truth. So that is the point here we should understand. So that Parabrahma is all knowing, he knows all things. So he did not, as we had discussed earlier, that he breathes out the Vedas in every kalpa. Through his breathing, he breathes out the Vedas in every kalpa and gives it to human society. When the pralaya happens, again they are all in him. He is the storage device used to transfer the data of Vedas from this kalpa to the next kalpa. So just like we have the hard disk or the pen drive, so many things, we transfer data from one system to another. So similarly, he is the storage device who transfers the data of Vedas from this kalpa to other kalpa. But there is no Purusha involvement, there is no Purusha creator in this whole process. At the same time, there is Paradena Vishesha Vapti also, the special form of Vedas, the way it is existing now, that special form the Supreme Lord has created, means whatever is relevant for ours. So that is the point that we should understand. And this Supreme Soul fulfills all the desires of living entity. So he is the Sa Uttama Purushaha, he is the Supreme Person. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, Tam Devanam Paramachadevam, Paritapatinam Paramam Parastat, Vidmat Evaraha Bhuvanesham Idyam Sakaranam Karanadipati O na chasya kaschit janita na chadipatehe, Sveteshwara Upanishad. So it says that, may we know the great Lord, the supreme of all lords, the supreme deity of the demigods, the supreme master above all masters, the supreme God, the worshipable master of this world. He is the ultimate cause, the ruler of those who rule over the senses. No one is his father or controller. Now this is explicit statement which discriminates, which differentiates Supreme Lord from demigods. So that is why this is a very important shloka which we should know, because it appears in Shvetashvara and Upanishad. It doesn't give just the general understanding of Parabrahma. It exactly discriminates that this Parabrahma is different from the Devas. The Devatas are not same as him. He is different from the Devas. He is not having any origin. Everyone else has the origin, but he doesn't have the origin. He is the father or control. Sorry, even the Vedas and Jiva don't have an origin at a point of time. They are eternally existing, but among all the eternals, he is the Mula, he is the origin. So that is the Ishvara. Now, Ishvara has different aspects which we'll be looking into for next few days. Who this Ishvara is. There are so many devas. Among those devas, why is a particular entity selected as Ishvara? That is one point. Second thing is, there is a concept called Sarva Shabda Vachakatvat that we will be seeing. Similarly, there is something called Swagata Beheda Vivarjita. Within the Lord, there is no difference, or between two avatars, you cannot discriminate, saying that this is a bigger avatar or that is a smaller avatar. So how that is, those things also, that is why there is no Swagata Veda in the Lord. Okay, so that is one more thing that we will be discussing. Similarly, Aham, what is real Aham? We speak about ourselves, no? So what are the real Aham that we have to discuss? Similarly, we'll be discussing about the different forms of the Lord. There are different avatars, different forms. Some are 200, some are 400, some are Sahasrashirsha, thousands of heads. So there are so many forms of the Lord. What is the difference between each of them? And finally, this ends with Mahalakshmi Tattva and Radha, how they are in relationship with the Supreme Lord. So these are the few things that we will be discussing. Ajayamano Bahuda Vijayate. The Supreme Lord is not born, but he becomes many. So this is a very important point to understand. In Upanishads elsewhere, it is nicely given that just like seeds when soaked into water, they become fat, correct? And once those seeds become fat, they germinate. And the germinated seeds, if you put in soil, what happens is plant comes up. Similarly, this Parabrahma itself becomes many. Why the Parabrahma becomes many? Because that is giving him pleasure. So for the sake of Ananda, the Parabrahma himself becomes so many forms. That is the point we have to understand here. Then Bhagavad Gita also says the same thing. Ajo pisan navyatma bhutanam ishwaro prakriti swam adhishtaya swayam sambhavami atma maya. Lord is unborn. There is no point of time when the Lord is born. You cannot say that the Supreme Lord takes birth. He is unborn. But however, what he does is that he comes to this world by the arrangement of Atma Maya, by the arrangement of his own Maya. For that also, he doesn't have to depend on anybody else. By the arrangement of his own Maya, he comes to this world and demonstrates certain qualities, certain leelas, certain pastimes. And how to understand all these things? Easy to understand? No. Janma karma cha me divam evam vyo veti tattvata tektva deham punarjanma nainti mameti swarjana. So it's not easy to understand the activities of the Lord, who this Ishvara is, what activities he does, and the activities that he has done, are they right or wrong? It is not possible to understand so easily. It really requires that some special mercy. Due to that, we will be actually understand that all these things are divya, divine. They are not of this world. So now what happens is that if you study the Vedas, uh, there are so many stutis, there are so many mantras, there are so many stotras. There is the Rudra Prashna, there is the Chamaka Prashna, then there is the Navagraha Stotra, then there is the Indra Sukta, there is the Vayu Sukta, there are so many of them. And it appears that all of them are speaking about Bhagwan, means he is the topmost. So, how to understand who is that topmost? How to understand which of these devas is topmost, or is it that they all have a power sharing program that someday one will become powerful, the other day another will become powerful? Do they have a rotation basis of becoming the Lord? So it is already well established earlier that Narayana is supreme. So from Narayana, the others like Brahma and Shiva are born. If we are able to establish this through Shastra Pramana, then it will be clear. So here there is Narayana Sukta, which says, Atha Purusho Havai Narayana Kamyata Prajasrajeti Narayanad Brahma Jayate Narayanad Rudro Jayate Narayanad Prajaprati Prajayate Narayanad Indro Jayate Narayanad Astu Vasavo Ashta Vasavo Jayanti Narayanad Ekadasha Rudra Jayanti Narayanad Dwadasha Adityaha Jayanti. So this Supreme Lord Narayana, okay, he desired Ato Purusha Havai Narayana Kamyata Prajasrujati. He desired that the children should be born. I mean, we should have offspring. We should have other people to enjoy with. Otherwise, we are all alone. So what happens is that because he desired, then he created all these different devatas. So each devata has been having a specific position, a specific activity, specific service for the Supreme Lord. So he has created this system with these different devatas. That is the actually Pramana, Shruti Pramana. Just a minute. Just a minute, please. Bear with me. Hare Krishna. So here it is mentioned that this Narayana is the cause of different devatas. Brahma is from Narayana, Shiva is from Narayana, then Indra is from Narayana, 8 Vasus are from Narayana, 11 Rudras are from Narayana, and Dwadash Adityas, the 12 Adityas, all of them come directly from Narayana is what is mentioned here. In the Maha Upanishad, it is also said, Eko Havai Narayana Asin Na Brahmana Ishanaha. Ishanaha. Only Lord Narayana existed, nor Brahma nor Rudra. So there is no Rudra also, there is no Brahma also. At the beginning, there is only Narayana. So at the beginning, when the whole universe, there is different pralayas that happen. Once in a day of Brahma pralaya happens. So when the whole day is passed away, when the whole day is passed, pralaya happens, everything is destroyed, Brahma goes to sleep. Then equal amount of time, as much as the creation had happened, equal amount of time, there will be nothing. Once again, the jivas, the supreme morning Brahma will get up, there will be creation and all will be assigned their respective positions. So, similarly, at the end of Brahma's lifetime, Brahma himself stays Sahasra Yoga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vido Ratri Yuga Sahasramtam Teho Ratra Vido Jana. We know this thing that after 1,000 yugas there will be the night of Brahma when everyone sleeps. Now, similarly, when 100 years of Brahma's life have passed, that time there will be one Mahapralaya in which everything, the whole Brahmandas, everything will be Samashrita in Vishnu, everything will be absorbed in Vishnu. And this is just one breathing. This creation of thousands of Brahmandas and absorbing them back, it is just one breathing of Vishnu. And the same time, whatever was taken for breathe out and breathe in, the Brahmas created, they led their 100 lives and went back. Same amount of time, again there will be peace. There will not be anything. And then again there will be Srishti, again there will be breathing out and breathing in. So when this happens, when everything is destroyed, that time only Narayana exists. Nobody else exists along with Narayana. All these devatas, they will not exist. That is what is told here. Now, similarly, there is Tasya Dhyanastaya Lalataya Treksha Shulapani Purusho Jayata Vipraj Shriyaha Satyarata Brahmacharyam Tapo Vairagyam. So, from the Lord, forehead of Lord Narayana, who was in meditation, a person was born with 3 eyes holding Trishula, trident, and possessing splendor, truthfulness, celibacy, austerity, and detachment. So basically, Lord Shiva was born, or Lord Rudra was born. He was with 3 eyes and Trambaka. And he was also with the Trishula. So that was the position. So he was born from Narayana. Tatra Brahma Chaturmukho Jayata. From Narayana, the four-faced Brahma was also born. So this speciality of Narayana is that Narayana is not like other devas. Other devas, they are having a post. Indra is a post, Brahma is a post. So all these things are different posts. Whereas with Narayana, it's not a post. With Narayana, he is a person who is holding that post, and his position will never be replaced. Everyone else's position may be replaced, but his position will not be replaced. And because Goddess Lakshmi is serving him, her position will also be fixed. So she will not be changing. So in the Vishnu Purana, Lord Brahma says this more clearly. Yasya prasadat aham achyutasya bhuja praja srishti karo antakari krodhacha rudra sthiti hetu bhuto vasmacha madhye purusha prasadat. Lord Achyuta is he by whose favor I became the creator of all the creators, by whose wrath Rudra becomes the destroyer, and by whom the Purushavatara became manifest as the cause of maintenance of everything and the highest among all. So, it is this Lord Achyuta who creates Brahma for the sake of creation of this world, or for the sake of creation of Praja in this world. Progeny. Whereas Shiva, the wrath of Shiva is from the inspiration of Vishnu. His anger Tandava, it is destroying the three worlds. That is coming directly from Vishnu, because someday the Vinasha has to happen, the destruction has to happen someday. So that process is happening from Vishnu only. Now, it is one more thing is that so it is also mentioned that Supreme Lord maintains in the form of his Purusha Avatara. So there are different avatars of the Lord. Purusha Avataras, Leela Avataras, Manvantara Avataras. There are different avatars of the Lord. We have seen in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3. Prabhupada under Aite Chamsa Kala Pumsam and one shloka before that, Prabhupada explains about these different avatars. And these Purusha Avataras are responsible for managing the affairs in this world. So, in the Moksha Dhama section of the Mahabharata, it is stated, Prajapatim cha rudra chapyaham eva srijami yaitau hi mam na vijanito mama mayo vimohito. I alone created Prajapati, Brahma and Rudra. Being builder my illusory energy, they neither know me. So here it's a clear statement that it is a Supreme Lord who created the Prajapatis. Who are the Prajapatis? Brahma, Rudra. But they don't know him, because he is covered by the potency of Yoga Maya. So they will never be able to understand him. Elsewhere in Chandogya Upanishad, it is clearly said that Rudra is Brahma's son. Virupakshasya dharma. दत्रमस्य विश्वदेवस्य सहस्रकस्य ब्रह्मणः पुत्रादय ज्येष्ठयमोगयः कर्णाधिपते. Salutations unto Brahma's elder son Virupaksha, who is the creator part, the thousand eyes of eye of the universe, and the infallible controller of all activities. So this Virupaksha or Lord Shiva, he is created from Brahma, and he is the controller of everything. So that is what we understand from the Chandogya Upanishad. Now this Rudra himself, there are 8 forms of Rudra. There are different Rudras that are described in the Shatapat Brahma. Samvatsarat Kurmo Jayata Kurmo Rodita Tat Prajapati Abravit Kumara कुमारो जायत कुमारो रोदति तत्प्रजापतिर अब्रवीत कुमारो किम रोदसी वाच्य मम तपसोधि जातोस्ति सो ब्रवीत अनपहत पापम पापम अहम अस्मि हंत namami me dehi. So this boy was born from Prajapati Brahma. Brahma created a child, and as soon as he was born, he started crying. So somebody asked, "Why are you crying?" So he said that I am not free from sin. Give me some names of the by which my sins may be removed. Please give me some mantra by which chanting my sin may be removed. That is what he understood, Rudra, because he was born. When he was born, there was extensive anger. Brahma got angry, and from his eyebrows he was born, the Rudra. So there was extensive anger. So he says, I'm not free from defects. During my birth, there are all these things. Afterwards, also, there are many things. So kindly, you give me some mantra by which I can improve. So the Nam Kirtan is there. That is emphasized that Nam Kirtan is the primary source of all confusions. I mean, solutions for all confusions. So that Nama Japa or Nam Kirtan he did. And so he was initiated into Pancharatrika Diksha by Lord Brahmadev himself. And that way he is free from sins. Narayana paro devas tasmad jatu chaturmukha tasmad rudro bhavet deva sacha sarva janik gataha. The Lord Narayana is the Supreme Lord, from whom the four-faced Brahma was born. From Lord Brahma was born Lord Rudra, who attained omniscience. So this Supreme Lord is the cause for birth of Lord Brahma. Supreme Lord Narayana is the cause for birth of Lord Brahma, and from him Rudra born, and Rudra was born. So in this way, there are many Shruti Pramanas that established the supremacy of Narayana over other devas. I mean, unless a person has to handle so many Shruti statements, he cannot just blindly say that I reject the idea of God, because the Lord is well established with these pramanas. Without these pramanas, we cannot just establish by logic or intellect or something. Naisha tarkena matirapaniya, Kathopanishad says that by tarka, you cannot establish anything. That reality cannot be established just by logic. There should be some pramanas for that. So these are the Shruti pramanas for the understanding that there is a supreme Ishvara quite different from everyone else. Just a minute. This chapter concludes by this shloka concludes with the understanding of Janma Karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvata tektva punarjanma tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Andre means anyone who understands that the activities of Ishvara are transcendental beyond these material modes. So they will never have birth in this material world. So all the Shruti Pramanas are actually meant to prove that the activities of Ishvara are transcendental. They are not of this world. So anybody who develops this understanding, then for him there will not be rebirth in this world. As long as we are still under the consciousness that Ishvara is mundane, Ishvara is an ordinary person, we can never attain this state where there is no freedom from birth and death. Yes, Mohan Radhapati Prabhu, you have raised your hand.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, in one of the references, you told that 8 forms of Rudra, but 8 forms of Rudra was not in that sloka.
8 forms of Rudra, just a minute, let me see. Okay. So where exactly 8 forms are mentioned, I will just look into it and get back to you.
Okay. So one more question that for enjoyment, Lord becomes many. So, so one may say that Lord is Atmaram. Why he has to become many to enjoy?
Yes, that topic is very soon coming up. It will be very interesting to discuss that, definitely. Yes, bro. Sorry, I will take it little later. In essence, if you want to know immediately, then it means that the Lord, the Supreme Lord, it's all a part of His energy only. There is nothing different from the Lord. So that is the essence of it. But we will discuss in detail a little later.
Okay.
Any questions till now? Just now we have not discussed much, just Shruti Vakyas. Now some complex concepts will come gradually, but please let me know if there are any questions still. Ojasvi Krishna Prabhu, yes.
Yes, Prabhu, my question is, it is mentioned in Brahma Samhita, Devi Mahesha Hari Dhama Suteshu Teshu, which says that above the Devi Dham is Mahesha Dham. And here we see that Lord Brahma gave quote unquote birth, if that's the word to use, from whom Lord Shiva came from Lord Brahma. So how do we understand both of this?
So the exact reference of it I will get into. But one thing we should understand is that there is a Sadashiva Loka which is on the border beyond the Virija river and with entrance into Vaikuntha. That Sadashiva Loka Kshiram Yatha Dadi Vikara Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Inenta Pratadhasti Eto Yashambhu Tamapi Tatha Samapayati Karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. So it's the Shambhu who is just making this contact with the material world possible. So that Shambhu is different. Before the existence of this material world itself, there is a Shambhu who is making the contact with material world possible. Lord doesn't directly interact with the material world. He is aloof in his own world with his parshadas, with his associates. So that interaction with the material world is possible through this Shambhu. And it's the same. So the Rudra who is born from Brahma is a different personality. That is a post. That is not a person. That is of this material world. Actually, all these devas, there is a Adi Deva in the spiritual world also. For example, Dikpalakas. There are Dikpalakas in the spiritual world which are Adi Devas. So similarly, there are other devatas also whose Adi Deva representatives are in the spiritual world. But to manage the material affairs of the material world, then for this, there are devatas which are posts, which can be occupied by different personalities here itself. So just like Brahma, the position of Rudra is also the Rudra who annihilates the world, who creates the pralaya, that is also a post held by a person.
Okay.
the glance.
Sorry?
So the glance of Mahavishnu, he also represents Sadashiva, no? Or Shambhu.
So when the Mahavishnu glances, Mahavishnu doesn't interact with the material world directly. But when the Brahmanda he glances into, that is already in Viraja river. So it is not the Moola Sadashiva who is at the entrance of the Brahmajyoti. This is the Rudra who takes this and he makes the material world pregnant with the jivas. He takes all the jivas and impregnates them into Prakriti. So that is how he is carrying the activities.
He's an expansion of Shambhu, the glance.
Yes, he is an expansion. He is the Amsha. He is coming from Shankarshana.
Okay.
Okay. Now, coming to this point, what happens is that this Ishvara is eternally liberated. He doesn't come under the cycle of birth and death. Janma Mrityu Chakra is not for him. He is eternally liberated. What we are doing is that we are conditioned and then we might get liberated. So we are Dukkha Sprishta. We are those with Sparsha of Dukkha. At some point of time, Dukkha would have touched the entities. So there is some Dukkha Sparsha. Whereas for the Supreme Lord, that Dukkha Sparsha is not there. Similarly, for Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, also that Dukkha Sparsha is not there. Both of them are beyond this world. So that is the point here. Now, someone may say that Vedas, you see, in Vedas it is not clear. Else, at some places it's mentioned Indra is supreme. At some mention it is Rudra is supreme. There Mahesha is supreme. All these things, they are supreme. So what people argue is that, what these Darshanikas argue is that we have no problem with that. You see, Indra, the Indra comes from Id Dhatu, and the understanding of that is that the Supreme Lord Indra is there. So Indra himself is supreme. Similarly, Rudra. Rudra is also supreme by the derivation of the name. Similarly, Mahesha, Maha Ishaha, the supreme Isha, the supreme controller. So Mahesha is the supreme controller. So that way, all these names are supreme only, right? So why we say that there is Narayana, there are others, why we want to differentiate them? So that is one of the questions that is raised by the Purva Paksha. Why don't we call all of them as supreme? Because it's mentioned in the Vedas, it's mentioned in the Shruti Vakyas. How can you deny that? So, what is mentioned is that there is a Rudhi Nama and there is a Yoga Nama. There is something called Yoga and there is something called Rudhi. Rudhi means what is day to day. For example, there is a Pravina. There is a Shabda called Pravina. So, Pravina, if we actually go with the Sanskrit, you will understand that Pravina is a person who is expert in Veena. He is expert in playing the Veena, that's why he is called Pravina. But over a period of time, with the usage of the language, it has come to the extent that we accept that anybody expert in anything, he is called Pravina. Yeah, so it has come Rudi. It has come as a Rudi Nama. Instead of Yoga Nama, it has been accepted as Rudi Nam, that anyone who is expert in what is that? He is expert in anything. He is called as what is that? He is called as Praveen. So similarly, you can find so many examples in the material world. Just a minute, I was looking at something specific. Now, there is a Shatamakha who is understood as Indra. Shatamaka means one who performs 100 horse sacrifices, 100 yajnas. So the person who performs 100 yajnas, Ashwamedha yajnas, he is called Indra. So that is the Indra, the Purandara, who is holding the position now. And his position will change over a period of time. Whereas the real Indra, the Supreme Indra, the Supreme Lord, his position will never be changed. So similarly, there is a name Devaraja, there is a name Mahaisha, Mahadeva. All these things are like calling Mahavriksha. There is a particular Vriksha, the particular tree, its common name is Mahavriksha, commonly called as Mahavriksha. Now, just because it is called Mahavriksha, can you say that that is the greatest tree on earth? No, it's not called the greatest tree on earth. Just that over a period of time, because that tree was bigger in that area, it was started to be called as Mahavriksha. So similarly, just because Mahesha is named as Mahesha or Indra is named as Indra, it doesn't mean that they all become Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord has to be understood only by Shruti Vakyas and nothing else. That is the point here we have to understand. Narayana is not like that. Narayana is a, what do you say? It is a position, it's a person only, it's not a post. Because the Narayana, that Ana, there is a grammatical, Panini as a sutra, that Anatva Vidhi is there. Natva Vidhi is applied where Na becomes Na. That makes it specific for that person. It is not beyond that person. It's not for others. It makes it specifically for that person. So that is the understanding that we derive from this. And further Shruti Vakyas are also there. Narayana Paro Devas Tasma Jatas Chaturmukha Tasmad Rudro Bhavateva Sacha Sarvadnagnatam Gataha. So Lord Narayan is the Supreme Lord. From him four-faced Brahma was born. From him Rudra was born. And then he attained omniscience. So this is the understanding. Now, sometimes in one kalpa, Lord Narayan, directly Rudra is born from Lord Narayana. In some other kalpa, he is born from Brahma and Brahma is born from Narayana. So in this way, there are different ways in which the Rudra can appear in different kalpas. So just because the name is Indra or just because the name is Mahesha, we cannot just accept that they are the supreme and nobody is above them. Okay, so there are some Shruti Pramanas. There are some Shruti Smriti Pramanas. In Mahabharata, it is described that Yuga Koti Sahasranim Vishnur Aradhya Padmabhu Punastrailokya Dhatrutvam Pratatvam Iti Shushruma. We have heard from the scriptures that after worshipping Lord Vishnu for millions of ages, Brahma attained the status of creator of the three worlds. So, position of Brahma is not easy. For millions of years, he worshipped the Lord. That is when he attained this status. Maya Srushta Pura Brahma Madhyatyam Ayajat Swayam Tatastasya Varan Prito Dadav Aham Anuttaman Matputtatvam cha kalpado lokadhyashtvam evacha. Having been created by me, Brahma himself worshipped me. Then upon being pleased, I gave him incomparable blessings and made him my son and master of the universe in the beginning of this kalpa. So this is mentioned in Mahabharata that It is by the Supreme Lord's mercy only that he became, what is that? He became Brahma. Lord Shiva, who is known as Vishwarupa and Mahadeva, once offered himself and all the living entities as an offering in a great universal sacrifice, Sarvameda. After giving him an offering in a great universal sacrifice, the magnanimous Lord Shiva became the Lord of the demigods, pervading and supporting the whole universe, resplendent and dressed in skin. He now shines by his glory. So, just like even in the material affairs, getting a position is not easy. Getting the position, you have to perform lot of austerities. These politicians, they work very hard, they tell lies, they do so many things just to get their position. So similarly, even to get these high positions, a lot of austerity is to be there, lot of hard work is to be there. Now, why all this confusion comes? Because there is the Bhagavatam. Initially, there is a shloka, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukad amrita drava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasikva bhuvi bhavuka. What is the meaning of this verse? Can anybody share what is the meaning of this verse? Yes, Mohan Radhapati Prabhu, you can try.
This Srimad Bhagavatam is the fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature, ripened fruit. And it has got emanated from the mouth, from the lips of Sri Shukadeva Goswami.
Yes. So now this Bhagavatam is a ripened fruit of the tea of Vedic literatures. So for the fruit cannot exist on its own. It requires a tree to exist. So you should understand the nature of the tree. Else you will get confused. We will be lost in the Vedas. We will not be able to get the right understanding of it. So the tree has a trunk. After the trunk, there are branches, and then there are leaves, and then there are flowers, and then there are fruits. Correct. So the trunk doesn't have variety. It tastes it touches the same. The vision is the same, looks the same. Then even if you try to taste it from everywhere, maybe you will get the same taste. Although it's not edible, but just I was saying, it's all the same. There is no variety in it. As it further branches out, then there are different branches. At least visibly, it is different. Other aspects, touch and all may be the same, but at least visibly the branches look different. Similarly, when the leaves come up, they are visibly the same, colors are also different, and then maybe touch also they are different. So there are various varieties once the leaves come up. Finally, the flowers and then the fruits. When the ripened fruit is there, it is very special taste. It is variety. Now, if you want to climb the tree to get the ripened fruit, then it is mentioned that it is carefully handled down through the disciplic succession. What happens if suddenly breeze comes and the fruit falls down from the tree? What happens? Mango tree, if you have seen, all of a sudden fruit falls down from the tree.
It will break down.
Sorry?
It will break down, Prabhu.
Yes, it will break down. It may not ripe. It may not be able to further develop. Correct? So similarly, the way to bring it down is that people have to be carefully standing and slowly there should be a helper, and using that help, they should be able to bring it down. Similarly, this Galitam Phalam, this ripened fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, it comes with great effort. There should be some people who will be sitting on the platform of Vedas. There should be some people who will be studying Upanishads. There should be some people who will be studying Mahabharata, Ramayana, Itihasas, all these things, so that this mature fruit can be carefully handled. Now, if we go to the example that we discussed last week, that if we want to make devotees, if we want to preach Krishna consciousness, it's not that all will take up to. Vanishyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhe. Very few are eligible people to take this up. What to do for the masses? If we establish a society based on Vedas, based on Vedic Shastras, if we are able to establish the society, then at least it will be a society of Sattva Guna everywhere. It will be a society of Dharma. And in that, the way few people who are taking up to God consciousness, they will be able to take it up more seriously. They will not have to undergo these disturbances that are there in the present adharmic society. Okay, so that is why this, if some candidates whose faith is still not developed, the Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter speaks about three divisions of faith. Trivida Bhavati Shraddha. So the faith itself is in three different levels. Some people don't have completely developed faith. Some people will have very soft new faith, and some people will have strong faith. So there is faith itself in three different levels. So under those circumstances, Vedas give a single common cloth for everyone. Sometimes when you, I have seen in Thiruvananthapuram that it is compulsory in the temple that dhoti has to be worn. So what they do is they keep some common dhotis. Anyone can take it on rent and use it. Similarly, because everyone doesn't come in dhoti. Similarly, if you see here, there should be something which is common for all and encompassing everyone. So Vedas, because they do that, they glorify different devatas separately. They have suktas for different devatas. They have Indra Sukta, they have Rudra Sukta, they have Mahesha Sukta, then they have Narayana Sukta, they have Ashwini Sukta, they have Agni Sukta, Vayu Sukta. There are so many different suktas for glorifying different devas. And it can happen that people with different faiths to take up to those particular deities, those particular devas, and we cannot deny them. And so that is why Sarva Shabda Vachakatvat, there is a Brahma Sutra called Sarva Shabda Vachakatvat, means that all the names in this world ultimately refer to Lord Hari only. So actually, even if these people take up to chanting of any of these mantras and suktas, in a way they are worshipping Lord Hari only. Okay. So, because those names signify Lord Hari, so it is but completely dependent on the karta, the person who performs the action, whether he is doing it in a consciousness of God or whether he is doing it independent of God consciousness just for material gain. So that is the understanding that we require when we approach the Veda mantras. So Madhvacharya in his Rigveda Bhashya, in the Bhashya of Rigveda, he explains this very nicely, this concept. So what he says is that just like you are in a house and just to protect your room, can we break the other rooms of the house? Can I say that my room should be safe? So if I break the kitchen, if I break the drawing room, if I break the other rooms, the garage and all, then I cannot live. I cannot be just staying in my house and living alone. I need all this. Similarly, these Vedic literatures and the different sections of theirs are required at different stages for different people. That is a point we should understand quite clearly. What Shankaracharya did, he said that Brahmana, Samhita, Aranyaka, they are all avidya, they are all ignorance. Just take the Upanishads, seriously study only the Upanishads. Now, generally, when you say this, it is primarily for the sannyasis, that too for the completely renounced sannyasis who are not even on the border, who are completely given up all material affairs. So, such few sannyasis, it will suit. Whereas, what if you understand that it is not just that is required, we require multiple sections. The 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Urdhva Moolam Adashaka Ashwatam Prahuravayam Chandamsi Yasya Panani Yastam Veda Samvedavid. So after explaining three modes of material nature, 14th chapter, Sattva Rajoguna, Tamoguna. It further, what is the conclusion of 14th chapter? We should be in Shuddha Sattva, completely absorbed in the Lord. Correct? That is the conclusion of 14th chapter. But the reality, is it happening for us? Are we able to be completely absorbed in Lord all the time?
No.
No, we have difficulties. We cannot be completely absorbed in the Lord all the time. So, okay, so we have, then the fifth chapter comes into place of Sankhya Yoga Pratak Bala. We have to not consider the actions of devotional service to be different from devotion. We have to consider to be the same. So we engage in devotional service like cooking, cleaning, and preaching, and arranging, construction, all these things. So many ways of services we engage in for indirect devotional, for devotional service to gradually purify ourselves. Correct. Now, Some people may not be able to do this also. Some people may not be in this level where they are able to accept also that there is a Lord like this whom we have to take. And then there may be material problems for people, material difficulties for people, and they are still not in the stage where whatever happens, I am completely surrendered to the Lord. So for that, Vedas are very required in human society. That is why the 15th chapter of Purushottama Yoga is primarily for this, for those candidates who are still stuck in this material world. So it is the explanation is given of a banyan tree. You start cutting the banyan tree from one side. As you come to the other side, what will happen? The somewhere some root is still alive and the tree will again sprout. Correct? This is what happens to the banyan tree. One side you are cutting, you come to the other side, by the time there is some rain, suddenly the old tree will sprout. So it's too difficult to cut the banyan tree. Similarly, our existence in the material world is too difficult to cut. It doesn't happen in one lifetime. It's not a joke. If we follow the system given by Acharyas as it is, it definitely will happen. But then following that system given by Acharyas is itself a big challenge, which we are not able to do. So that is why our situation is too tight in the material world. That is why these Veda Shastras are given for gradual purification. At least you do some yajnas, you do some tapasyas, you do some karmas, by which gradually you will be elevated to the higher forms. That is why these Veda Shastras should not be rejected, whereas the actions in them can be done either by devotional way or it can be done with a faith in demigods. It can be done at different levels based on the shraddha of the person. However, they cannot be rejected at any point of time. So that is the understanding we develop by the concept of Sarva Shabda Vachakatvat. Now, with this understanding, practically everything in the Vedas can be understood to mean Supreme Lord only. In the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga, at the end, Lord says that Vedescha Sarve Raham Eva Vedyo Vedanta Krut Veda Videhacha. So I am known in all the Vedas everywhere. There is no particular section of Vedas where I am not known. In all the Vedas, it is just discussed about me. But what we find in reality is there are so many suktas like Agni Sukta, Vayu Sukta, and Indra Sukta, Ashwini Sukta. There are so many suktas where seemingly different personalities are glorified. Correct. But what is explained in Rigveda Bhashya is that the same sukta based on the shraddha of persons can be interpreted differently. It is said, Ashvinaya Jvari Rishe Dravat Pani Shubhaspati Purubhajachanas Ashvina Purudam Shasa Nara Shaviri Yadhiya Dhishnya Manatam Gira. So the Ashwini Kumaras, they are responsible for the good health of the individual. So that is why the Ashwini Kumaras, they are merciful on living entities and they give good health. So, okay, when Tene Brahma Hridayadi Kave, when the Supreme Lord gave the Vedas in the heart of Brahma, Ashwini Kumaras were not even born. But Ashwini Sukta was chanted by Brahma. So, those who are in a hierarchy higher than Ashwini Kumaras, how will they see this Sukta? So, the understanding is that Vishnu is the Parama Ashwini Kumara. The real Ashwini Kumara is Vishnu who awards health to everyone. So, even for great personalities like Brahma and Rudra, the health is coming from them. Similar is the case with Indra. The real Indra is the Supreme Lord. So when you chant the Indra Sukta, you are actually glorifying the Supreme Lord as the real Indra. So if we develop this understanding, then the process of performing, process of taking advantage of Vedas becomes easy. The process of studying Vedas becomes easy. So that is the thing. When we say Mahesha means Maha Isha, he must be supreme. The understanding is not that this particular Mahesha, this particular Rudra who is born of Brahma is supreme. The eternal Mahesha, the supreme Lord Vishnu is there. He is actually in charge of everything. That is the understanding we have to develop from this. Yes, Dharmeshwar Prabhu, you had a question in this regard?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you said like Vedas are meant for gradual purification and they should not be rejected at any point of time. But we can see that the followers of the Shankaracharya will no um, they take up the process of studying the Upanishads and all.
Correct.
So how we can understand because Shankaracharya is such a like a very big philosopher and he's very great person, but still he has, in one way, he has protected the Vedas and all, but in another way, he is denying the existence of or following the Vedas. So how we can understand this?
Yes. So you see the different schools of thought. The Shankaracharya followers, Advaitins, for them Upanishads is only knowledge, nothing other than Upanishads. So Upanishads is everything. Whereas the Mimamsakas, for them the Brahmana and the uh, Aranyaka to some extent, but mostly it is Brahmana that is very important. Samhita and Brahmana are very important for them because the Yajna Kriya itself becomes very important for them, and the Yajna Kriya is available in them. That's why Kumarila Bhatta and Bhaskara, all these people, Mimamsakas, for them this section becomes most important. They would like to take that section mainly for their purification. So why this happens? It happens because whenever there is an agenda that you want to establish certain things, that time certain sections seems to be conflicting. Okay. For example, if we want to establish the impersonal form of the Lord, then reading of Samhitas and Brahmanas can be conflicting. Why they can be conflicting? Because there it is more about worshipping the Lord, chanting mantras for the Lord, performing yajnas for the Lord. These actions become more important. So they may be conflicting. That is why, and that is why some people prefer to use certain sections and not use certain sections, because they will ultimately say we are Upanishads are Shruti and we are basing our thoughts only on Shruti. If you see the Mundakopanishad, beginning of Mundakopanishad, it is mentioned that the four Vedas, then the Puranas, Pancharatras, all these things are Ajnana, all these things are Avidya, only Brahma Vidya is Vidya. The knowledge of absolute truth is Vidya. Now, one may, like what Shankaracharya got confused is that when you say Brahma Vidya is Vidya, then Brahma Vidya is mostly got through Upanishads. And that way, because it is got through Upanishads, Upanishads are the only Vidya. Everything else is Avidya. So that is what his understanding was. But then everyone in the world cannot become sannyasis. And because everyone in the world cannot become sannyasis, does it mean that they are not eligible for Atma Sakshatkara? They are not eligible for perfection of life? Actually the Mayavadis believe that if you the only way to purify your existence and get liberated is by accepting sannyasa. In Grihastha Ashrama, it's not going to be possible according to them. So, whereas the Vaishnava Acharyas are not like that. Vaishnava Acharyas, they accept that all these different sections of the Vedas are very important and they are meant for our gradual purification at different levels. So, that is the understanding we can derive from. Is that clear, Prabhu, or any more doubts?
Yes, bro. It is clear. I have one more question.
Yes, Prabhu.
That we know that Lakshmi Devi, who is the consort of Lord Narayana. So Lord Narayana definitely does not come under the category of Jiva Tattva. So as Lakshmi Devi. Now, initial in the first session or second session, we discussed. You had explained that only the Supreme Lord, is the Pramana, and he knows everything. It not even what is that? Lakshmi Devi and Yogi, Ayogi, and Vishnu. Four categories of like I'm not able to recollect. But my question is that Lakshmi Devi is also Swarupa Shakti of the Supreme Lord. So when the Supreme Lord, we understand that the Swarupa Shakti is non-different from the Shaktiman, Shaktiman. So when the Supreme Lord knows everything, why can't Lakshmi Devi, who is the Swarupa Shakti of the Supreme Lord, is limited in her understanding about about everything? Uh, yes, Rohit.
So, uh, there are two things in this. One is whether Lakshmi Devi is Swarupa Shakti of the Lord, what is her position? Is she different from Lord and all? That topic we will discuss in detail in the next week. Okay. About Lakshmi Tattva itself, we will discuss next week. Now, your question, Ishvara also is not a pramana, is the point. Ishvara is a prameya only. He is proved through pramanas. He knows everything, no doubt. Ishvara Pratyaksha is Paramatma Pratyaksha. He knows everything. He knows everything. That doesn't mean that what he says is Pramana. Pramana is Veda Shastra only. Pramana is neither Ishvara, nor Lakshmi, nor Yogi, nor Ayogi, not our Guru, nor anything. They are all Pramanas as much as they are repeating the words of the Vedas. So ultimate Pramana is Shruti, because Pramana is it is not applicable to persons. It is applicable to specific like Pratyaksha or Anumana or Shabda. These are the three things they should. I mean, it's specifically applicable to them. It is not applicable to persons at any point of time. So that is the understanding we should develop here.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And just one last question. Prabhuji, it is mentioned in the Vedas, and we also sometimes hear that the glories of the Supreme Lord are mentioned in the beginning of the Vedas and middle of the Vedas and end of the Vedas, and that means everywhere. And so, is it the correct understanding of the Vaishnava Acharyas that the glories of the Supreme Lord are mentioned in the Vedas, and at the same time, Vedas are meant for gradual purification, and at the same time, they should not be rejected, and at the same time, we also have that understanding that most of the you know most of the things mentioned in the Vedas are also of what is that, Trigunas. They come under the category of Trigunas. At the same time, they are meant for gradual purification, and they glorify the Supreme Lord. So it
Yeah,
is a
so
culmination of everything, Prabhuji.
I will explain it to you. So there is a Indra Sukta, the Sukta number 4 of the Rig Veda. So there it is mentioned that when the Somarasa is made, at that time Indra comes and he drinks the Somarasa, and once he drinks the Somarasa, everyone else becomes, all his devotees also drink the Somarasa, and they become enlivened and energetic. It is mentioned here. Okay. So here the understanding of the Shruti depends on the consciousness of the person. If the person is thoroughly materialistic, how we will take the Shruti Vakya is that this Indra Devata takes the Somarasa and gives the Mahaprasada, and by his mercy, we will be able to achieve Indra planet, Indra Loka, Swarga Loka, or we will be able to achieve the strength to be in this material world, because Indra himself awards strength for various activities, various actions. So he gives very good grains by giving very good rains, and that way also strength comes. So that way we can understand that we will get a lot of grains, we will get a lot of good health by eating those grains. So that way will be beneficial. That is the understanding of a person in that consciousness. Now, when a person understands that Indra is the Supreme Lord Indra, he is the Supreme Lord Narayana himself, then the same as Somarasa is understood as Bhakti Rasa, devotional service. He gives the nectar of Bhakti by which there is immortality. So the strength of immortality is there, which is given to the devotee. So when you read certain sections of the Vedas, the same section can be understood as some karma kanda by the person who is a karma kandi, whose goal is temporary, whereas the same section can be understood by a devotee to mean devotional ends. So it is more lying on the responsibility of the yajmana or the chhatra or the shishya. If the yajna is happening, the yajmana should be in the consciousness. If the class is happening, if the patha is happening, the Shishya should be in the consciousness to understand it as a meant for ultimate benefit. And if he fails to understand that because of lack of philosophical knowledge, then he will end up with the understanding of temporary things only. That is why Vedavyasa has given Brahma Sutras. These Brahma Sutras help us understand the Vedas, the actual meaning of it. And Srimad Bhagavatam, being the natural commentary on Brahma Sutras, it first introduces us to what is the highest. And with this understanding, when we go into Vedic literatures, we may not be misled into Karma Kanda. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, sir.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Mohan Radha, please.
So along with the actual meaning of the Vedas,
Your voice is a little low, Prabhuji. Can you be a little loud?
so along with the intended meaning of the Vedas, means the meaning of the Vedas for the persons like karma kandis, means those who want to satisfy the material desires in a dharmic way. So that meaning of the Vedas also has to be found for them, right? So as you were saying that.
See, if we have to establish a society based on dharma, then there will be some dharmikas, there will be people who are religiously inclined, but they will not be on the platform of liberation. So definitely for them, it's the responsibility of Brahmanas to guide them. So that is why Brahmanas, now somebody is, for say somebody's marriage is getting spoiled, it is getting divorced. Okay, now instead of having the dharma of divorce and having single woman who is divorcee and all in society, and then creating bigger problems, Varna Sankara and all, it might be better that you go for some simple astrological solutions which involve these mantras and all these things. And with that, that can be done with the consciousness of God, that we are praying to the Supreme Lord only, and in this way we are solving the problem. So that way, it is the responsibility of, yes, the at least the Brahmana should know both the meanings and accordingly guide the students. It's said in the Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter, Sakta karmanya vidvamso yata kurvanti bharata kuryan vidvams tata saktas chikirshu loka sangram na buddhi bedam janayet adnyanam karma sangnam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharam. People are not having intelligence. Their intelligence is completely into karma phala, that is temporary gains. Now we should not disturb them suddenly, saying that, oh, you come to the highest level or you are out. Okay, you can tell them you come to the highest level, but then if they are not ready for the highest level, at least take up to the level of dharma. That is what you should encourage. Why? Yajnartat karmano anyatra lokam. At least they will be doing something for yajna. They will somehow or the other contribute for the yajna. They will not be disconnected from yajna. So that is why, to keep them, the Vidvamsa, he engages different people differently. And for that, he is supposed to have the different understandings.
Thank you, Prabhu.
It is getting late, I know. Any other last questions you have? Okay, so we will close now. Tomorrow we will be discussing about Swagata Bheda Vivarjita. Is there a difference between Narayana form and Vishnu form and Narasimha form and Rama form? Are they the same? Are they different? And then what is Aham? What is the real me? That is another thing. Then what is the difference between two hand and four hand? If you are able to finish this, we will see about Mahalakshmi Tattva, or we could see next week. Hare Krishna. Thank you. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bruce. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Hare
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.